Guys, welcome back to the Dane and Josh show. It's an awesome Super Wednesday edition. I've been flying solo today, which is fine. Dane sends his love. He's got some events he's got to cover. Every now and then they call up Dane. My passion is doing the interviews in the studio, so I'm happy to do that. This is my baby. I've got some Illinois facts for you today. You see my Cardinal stuff that I'm wearing, guys. My family, my mom's from Alton, Illinois, so I think that's how you say it. Anyway, there's some Illinois facts that maybe you didn't know I want to share with you. Tallest building in the world is actually the Sears Tower, which is in Illinois. Didn't know that. Found that out today. They actually are also famous for the first McDonald's in history in Illinois, which is pretty dope. Didn't know that. And I didn't know this either. Maybe recorded history. They're also home of the world's tallest man, Robert Wadlow. I think today's at about 8'9". You know, pretty tall, I guess, whatever. I could probably beat him in a basketball game. Just kidding. But they're also home to one of our favorite softball players. There's an awesome, amazing athlete, ambassador of the sport, doing great things with Salukis, just an all-around talented human being and even better person. So I want to get right into it, not waste any time. I'm bringing our friend Jackie Lis from the Salukis. Jackie, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm glad you're here. It's a privilege to get to work with you. I know we've been talking for a while, and thank you for what you're doing for athletics, female athletics, and the Salukis. You're on vacation in Florida, is that right now?
I am. Yep. Took a little weekend trip.
I love it. Well, hey, thank you for taking time out of your excursions to meet with us. So we have some questions over the years the audience has cultivated. Kind of want to run past you. Just kind of get to know you a little bit. Okay. So first question, I'll go with it. Take me back before being the elite. Kind of pride of Salukis that you are before playing in college and high school, that storied career in high school. Tell me when this first began. When did you first pick up a ball? What age were you? When did you start playing?
So I was born into a softball and baseball family. So I'm pretty sure I had one coming out of the womb. My grandpa played in the majors, my dad in the minors, and then my uncle and my aunt both played in college. My sister played in college. So, I've been playing softball longer than I can remember. So if I had to guess, I'd say I probably started around when I was 2, because my grandpa would take me when my parents were at work and we'd go hit on the tee. It's just always been softball.
It's in your blood, huh?
It really is.
So some kids grow up, sitting around hearing stories. You grew up on the diamond, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair to say?
Yes, my dad owns a hitting facility, and I think I've spent more time there than my actual house.
That's really cool. Okay. Well, I didn't know that. In all respect to your pops and grandpa, I didn't know that. I didn't put that two together. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we actually saw your body of work, what you're doing with Salukis first. So shout out to your family for raising it with our favorite sport, because anything on the diamond, softball, baseball, is our favorite sport. It's really cool. So when you think about when you were playing, did you play other sports alongside of softball growing up? Or
I did. I was a big basketball person until about middle school, and I started volleyball in middle school. I liked them, but just kind of it came time to choose, and softball was always the number one.
So that's actually my next question. It leads into it. So my daughter, it's interesting how many people say volleyball and softball and soccer, that so opposite ends of the spectrum, but they seem to gravitate towards each other. But what was it when you came time to choose? Because obviously multi-talented sport athlete like yourself, what drew you to softball being your go-to? What was it?
It's just that I grew up on it. I can't imagine my life without softball. I grew up going to when I wasn't old enough, I'd go to my sister's games, and even my mom would go play slow pitch softball, and my dad owns a baseball school, so I'd spend all my time there. So there's just no life that I would choose any sport over softball.
Everything revolves around the diamond. I got you.
It really does in the Lis family.
So with what we have 2 franchises that it's kind of like with my family. My mom's from Illinois, so Cardinals, right? Anything with Illinois sports. And then on my dad's side, it's Oklahoma, so it's the Sooners and all that. So I think I get where you're coming from. It's it's really not an option. This is what we do. This is a family tradition, right? Is your house like ours, where it's football and baseball season that we hang out more than holidays? Is that like that for you guys too, maybe? Or
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. So influences, I know your dad. That's cool. Again, shout out to Pop. Maybe outside of Pops and outside of Grandpa, take me down the path a little bit. With them aside, who's been a big influence on you, on your career as an athlete, mental performance, anything? Who's been a big influence on you?
I would say my aunt, she played at SIU back in her day. And so she's just always she's been at every practice. She was my coach for forever. She was my high school coach. She pitches live to me just to always make sure that I'm on top of my game. And she wasn't a pitcher, so she learned to pitch live so that she could pitch to us. And she just always would make like jokes that like she has records and she's a Hall of Famer, and I'd always like come back at her like, well, I'm gonna break your records one day. And so she's been a big motivation like my whole life. And so I'd probably have to go with her.
So around Thanksgiving time, some families have like the football. You guys have a baseball game or softball game, I'm sure. I'd like to see that around Thanksgiving time. The family, her pitching to you. I'm just kidding, but that's really cool. Yeah, she's definitely if she's any glimpse of what you are, she's got to be great. So we watched the internet's a great thing. We've seen a lot of your footage, a lot of your film. So I can't even imagine seeing what you guys are like together, all this talent in one room, it's got to be great. Looking at what you're doing coming in, congrats again, landing what you're doing with Salukis. I feel like it was kind of born in, like you said, bred into you. Obviously being a top performer, a top athlete, the awards you won in high school, got to have some goals I'm sure you're setting going into this season, right? You're going to want to make your mark. You want to see you are setting yourself apart. What's a couple goals for you in this next 12 months?
I mean, of course it's going to be to just keep rolling. Just keep doing what I do. But I think my main goal is to help my team get to a supers. We've never made it to the supers. So we made a good run this year. I mean, I know we lost both games, but scoring 18 runs against Utah and Baylor combined was kind of putting us on the right path. So I think we kind of showed everybody we can do it. And so I think our main goal this year is just going to be to do it.
Think about this, what you said too. You guys scored those runs on Baylor, who, by the way, Baylor beat Oklahoma. So you're letting me know that essentially that's a giant slayer. If I break it down and I bring it back. So that's one thing that we were actually kind of prepping, over the weeks of getting to know you and all that. D1, D2, I don't care. Top athletes like yourself, I don't think it matters what the title or the organization. You're representing softball, whether it's 10U or 12U or elite level like yourself. The entire premise is to go out there and make the sport better. Dane and I always say, Jackie, people like yourself, the sport's in good hands, ambassadors of the sport. And it's also one of the things that drew us to you as well, on top of watching you play and just being stellar infielder. Your presence as a person. You're an ambassador for these young ladies coming up wanting to be you. I don't know if you've thought about this or not, but there's definitely an influence that you're leading on the next generation. You're doing that right now. So it's kind of like you're taking the torch and passing it on to the next generation, right? So I guess kind of circling back to that, what you're doing with the program, influences and all that, it's good to see that you're taking your role serious, but also having fun at the same time, So I love it. It's definitely one of those things to where the internet's a thing. When I was growing up playing, we didn't have that luxury of being able to showcase our games and all that. So again, it's kind of a blessing and maybe a curse, but I'm glad to get to see that you're representing the sport very well. There's a segment, Jackie, I'm going to make you laugh. We bet on this every episode. I told you I won't prep you for this. This is intentionally meant to keep you in the dark. So for a moment, imagine that time, past, present, future doesn't exist. You can be, anything's possible. Imagine if like the Matrix is real, just anything's possible, right? So our fans give us these questions from all over the world that we present to our guests. And the whole point of rapid fire is to make you think about personality, kind of a Rorschach test. You got to pick one of these two things. You can't not pick, no matter how awkward it is, you got to pick one. Okay. So I'll keep it PG, but we have to pick one. So the first question, we're taking Jackie Lis. We're going back to opening game, fall ball 2023. You guys are gonna do some playing tournaments, and someone gets to actually fill in for you. You get to pick one of these two celebrities to fill in and to take your place on the field.
Okay.
Choices now, not just a celebrity, but they're superheroes. A little twist. So DC's real, Marvel, all that stuff. You get to pick Harley Quinn. That's one. Or B, Wonder Woman. Who's filling in for you on the mound?
I'd have to go Harley Quinn. I feel like that'd be way more entertaining.
I love it. I had that one. I really did, especially since she carries the bat and all that. So I had you.
Exactly.
I got you. So next question. With that, you and your team, Salukis team builder. Two amazing artists call you guys up and say, hey, Jackie, tell your team you guys get to fill in and be basically extras, part of a music video for these two amazing female artists. Okay. Your choices that you guys get to choose from, they both call you on the same day. Somehow it happens.
Okay.
A, Cardi B, or B, Megan Thee Stallion. Who are you guys going to go for?
SIU softball is a Megan Thee Stallion team all the way.
2 for 2. Let's go. I'm killing it. Let's go. I love it. So I thought you'd go with that one. That's awesome. So next question. Your coaches are amazing. You do a great job. So no love lost to them. They're awesome. But you get to have a celebrity athlete be a third base coach for this game,
Okay.
opening game, right? You guys have two again, love all the coaches. That's very clear. But you have two choices. You get to go with A, Venus Williams, love her, or B, Layla Ali, Muhammad Ali's daughter, amazing boxer, professional, just powerhouse. So Venus or Layla, which one are you going with?
I have to go with Venus.
I am killing it. 3 for 3. Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Love it. Okay, awesome. So next one, timeout, season's over, you're coming home, the winter break and all that. American Ninja Warrior calls you up, says, hey, Jackie, come do an episode with us. I want you to compete on national TV. But the caveat is during your episode and while you're doing your whole thing, your entire competition, you have to wear one of these two things that you cannot take off.
Okay.
A, your softball cleats, or B, combat boots during the entire event. Which one?
I'd have to go cleats. I feel like you get a good grip with those.
I didn't have that one. I really didn't.
Combat
Okay.
boots are heavy.
Okay, I didn't have that one. Okay, so I'm 3 for 4, one more. So again, these will be on DraftKings later. I'm just kidding. So last one. So last question. They call you up, one more celebrity guest appearance. All athletes, make roles in movies, things like that stuff. You're called to be a part of the remake. You're going to be the actual lead singer of one of these two songs. You get called up to be the singer. Your choices are A, Crazy Train by Ozzy. You're redoing it and you have a band, you're singing it, you're doing the whole thing. So Crazy Train, or B, Ninja Rap by Vanilla Ice and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So Ozzy or Vanilla Ice, Ninja Rap, which one are you going with?
I have to go Crazy Train.
Oh, I did not have that one. I didn't have that one. Okay. Dang it. So I'm 3 for 5. Okay. Well, thank you, Jackie. That's this little segment that the audience loves. They call it rapid fire, just some fun stuff. Hopefully you haven't had interviews past. I appreciate that. So the final segment, we're going to transition. The show, what we're about, what we really stand for, has always been about positivity, chasing your dreams, not letting anybody tell you that you can't do it, mantras, things that make you tick, right? So you, as an amazing athlete, all-star, what you did in high school and now doing it in college, which, by the way, I hope you're going to tell me that you're going to declare with women's pro softball becoming a thing. I hope you're going to declare. We'll get to that in a second. But what's a mantra? Maybe if you could tell maybe those kids that want to be you one day, what's a mantra or philosophy that you pass on to those listening?
I'd have to say that never listen to anyone else's opinion. Like, trust yourself. Like, no, you know what you're capable of more than anyone else. Like, my whole life I was always told, like, oh, I'm not going to be big enough to play Division I softball, or she's not strong enough. Like, I was going to get switched to be a lefty because they didn't think I had enough power. But I just kept my head down and I worked my tail off, and it paid off. So just use what other people have to say is like fuel to the fire, and then go prove them all wrong.
That's awesome. It must be a Cardinals Illinois thing, because we were talking to a member of the Cardinals organization. He said someone told him he was a dime a dozen, and that pretty much basically just, hey, you're going to be a flash in the pan, right? And when you said that too, it's like, hey, almost the fuel for the fire of, don't tell me I can't do something. I'm going to prove you wrong. And there's a criticism can either make or break someone, and it's good to see that maybe somewhere along the way, if someone did tell you that, you took the other route and exceeding in your craft, being a top deck, right? I love to see that. Our kids, our 10U, 12U, 14U kids, a lot of times, maybe they'll get told by a family member, hey, this is just fun. This isn't really a deep activity. Just take it for what it is. Or maybe it's schoolmates, or maybe even, God forbid, a parent. What you're saying is, hey, no matter who's telling you no, don't listen to the critics. Prove them wrong.
Even like other college coaches, like during my recruiting process, like coaches told my old travel coach, like, yeah, we had her crossed off the list. We didn't think she was going to be good enough. And then when I was old enough to be recruited, they told them, they were like, hey, that's our bad. Like, what can we do to fix this? And it's just like,
Isn't that something?
they were judging me when I was 12. And it's
Yeah.
just like, you just have to kind of give yourself a shot because people just want to write you off earlier than they should.
What a great feeling to be able to, with all respect. And again, I know looking back, I appreciate how gracious you've been through that process, but what a good feeling to kind of look back at the naysayers and prove them wrong. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So with my final question, which I'm glad that you're proving everybody wrong. I can't believe anybody would prove you wrong. Cause when I watch you play, I'm like, there's no way this girl ever got told no to anybody. Cause you're a stud. Is there in your future, I know you got some years with SIU. Is there a time when you're going to look at going, maybe Athletes Unlimited, declaring? Is that in your future? Have you thought about it? Or
I mean, I would be totally down for it. Obviously it's up to them if I get there because the whole draft process, but I grew up with softball. I can't imagine my life without softball. So I will take it as long as it'll take me.
I love it. I think hopefully now, if I can say this, if you can pick, just go ahead and make this happen. I'm a little partial to OKC Spark growing up in Oklahoma. Do me a favor if you could. I don't want to tell you what to do and all that, but go ahead and make that happen if you don't mind.
Okay,
So
I'll keep that
that'd
one
be pretty
in the
cool.
back of my head.
You just put it in your back pocket when they call you,
Okay.
just for Josh only. I'm kidding. No. So, but no, I think you'll do very well. The sport, Dana and I talk about this a lot, Jackie, that look at history being made right now. You, people like yourself, in the same breath with Scarborough. I think about Nicole May, even Jordy Ball, yourself, these ladies that are out there from whatever organization you're part of, making softball in the same breath as MLB, as NBA, as WNBA, same breath, right? If you watched during the Women's College World Series, it was tied with basketball and football for the most watched collegiate sport this year. It's crazy.
It is.
Now, should have happened a long time ago, but I'm glad you're part of history. You're part of history in the making, where you, along with these other ladies, are representing softball in the way that, the respect it deserves, right? So It's awesome. So I hope you do, again, go and declare pro. Let it be known that we think you're capable of it and you deserve it. Last question. I keep saying that, but it's just fun talking to you. Are you settled in on, I know with infield, have they decided what you're playing infield, or do you know yet? Or?
I'm pretty sure I'm locked in at shortstop.
Love it.
I mean, our second baseman graduated, so maybe if a freshman comes in and they are a shortstop specialist, I would be happy. I played second in travel ball in my whole life, so
Okay.
I wouldn't be mad if I got bumped over. But I think the way that our left side kind of handled business this year, and with none of us graduating, I feel like there's no reason to change it.
That's cool. Yeah. When I saw that, because my daughter's a shortstop, and I'm like, that's my favorite spot, that and catcher. So I was hoping you were staying there. I just wanted to double check, right? So let it be. Are you guys doing fall tournaments at all? Anything for the fall?
We normally host a couple weekends.
Cool. I love it. Well, I am Jackie. I am grateful. Like I said, when we first began,
grateful you had me.
Yes, when we first began communicating, thank you for being just an elite ambassador of the sport. Let it be known, once you're part of the show, we call it the alum. Please come back anytime. We're going to make it happen. Yes, we're going to make it happen when you declare pro and I look up and you're playing. Don't forget about us here in Kansas, okay? So,
Never.
Well, Jackie, thank you again for your time. It's an absolute privilege and pleasure. We'll be in touch very soon. I hope you have a great rest of your vacation and good luck on the fall ball, okay? So
thank you.
Awesome. We'll be in touch. Have a good one. Welcome to Drop
too.
Off.
Bye.
Thank you, friend. So you guys, that's even better than when you talk about these amazing athletes like that, just ambassador of the sport, you can't say enough amazing accolades, knows the craft, knows what they're doing, knows where they stand. What do you say? I wish Dane was here to help bounce it off, because I mean, it gets you pumped up that these amazing athletes just know where they stand. They know what they want to be. Jackie, please go pro. Please go pro. Amazing shortstop, top of the craft. No bad things to say. Even if there was a chink in the armor, you can't see it. So thank you, Jackie, for being so awesome, representing the Salukis very well, the home state of Illinois. On my mom's side, again, thank you for being just a top deck athlete and making the sport even better than where you found it. So that's a great one. Thank you for being a part of that, you guys. And Dane sends his love. We'll move on. We have one more tonight. We've got Presley stopping by from KU. So don't forget, as always, in closing that we love you. And as Dane would say, thank you for listening.